Hey, how's it going? I did a video on whether you should use Wise, the app to transfer money. It's very, very popular, and if you talk to 90% of expats, they're going to say Wise, Wise, Wise. It's the only way to go. You're foolish using anything else, etc. I disagreed. Wise is a great company, and with smaller amounts, and I'll show examples, yeah, you're going to come out ahead. But personally, I'm more comfortable using, in my case, I use Navy Federal Credit Union, and I've used them for whatever, 40-something years, maybe longer. I'm super comfortable with them. Wise is an app. I don't know if there's anybody you can call. I assume there is. I know it's a UK-based company. Navy Federal, I'm just a little bit more comfortable with. So transferring smaller amounts, yeah, I'm losing 15 bucks or whatever it is, but it's kind of worth it to me. You'll have to make that determination. But when transferring large amounts, I think a flat rate fee is the way to go. And people argued in my comments, no, you don't understand. You're getting a lousy exchange rate, on and on. Wise will beat anybody anytime, on and on and on. Well, I'm going to show some real life examples. I had to bring the 800,000 into my Thai bank for retirement visa, or you can move 65,000 each month for at least 12 months, go in immigration, and then ask to switch to the 65,000 method. Now, I did both, and I went into immigration, and I just said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to do these monthly transfers. I can keep the 800,000 in there. I mean, maybe I'm lucky, and some other people can't. They only have the 65,000 to do each year. So yeah, you do what you have to do. Myself, I'm okay with keeping the 800 in there and actually moving the 65,000 in each month. I've lost money over the year because I keep close track of what I transferred it at, and the bot right now is fairly high. I just transferred a large amount the other day, and I got 36.3. I've transferred it in the 31s over the last year and a half. So 36.3, this is the time to move a large amount, not being forced, in my way of thinking, not being forced each month at whatever the rate is. You don't have any choice. I guess you can try to play a game and start looking at it on the first, second, third, and gamble. Is it going to be higher at the end of the month? Whatever. You better be a little careful because those transactions have to be each month. You can't miss it by even a day. A January transaction, a February transaction, if you make that February transaction on the whatever it is, the 26th of the month, and there's a holiday in there or a Sunday or whatnot, and it doesn't show up until March 1st, well, you missed your February payment. So don't play that game. So just keep in mind the bot's going to do what the bot's going to do, but it does fluctuate, and I'll explain at the end of this video how that can really add up to a lot of money. But what I transferred, this is real life. The other day I transferred 15,000 US dollars. The other thing I'm going to say is, in my case, Navy Federal, and that's all I've ever used, so I can't speak to what other banks do. But Navy Federal, when you want to move XYZ amount, they move that entire amount and then charge you a $25 flat rate fee. What Wise does is they charge you whatever the fee is, depending on the amount of money you're sending, and they deduct it from what you're sending. In the case of the 15,000 with Navy Federal, it's 15,000 plus $25. With Wise, you send 15,000, they deduct the fee of $98, and then the other amount they exchange at, agreed, a slightly better rate than Navy Federal. But in the end, I'll explain exactly what happened. So let's keep things simple. We both understand that Navy Federal is going to be one fee and Wise is going to be another fee. But let's just act like they both charge separately. Again, I know what Wise does not, but to compare apples to apples, let's do it that way. And in the case of the other day, Navy Federal was offering, well, they weren't offering, they don't tell me what it is. I just transfer in US dollars and I get what I get when it hits Bangkok Bank. So it's actually what Bangkok Bank is giving me to accept the money as compared to what Wise is promising to deliver the money. And yeah, Wise is a little bit better rate, but you're going to see the results here. So I ended up getting, just simple math, 36.3 on my 15,000 baht, which is 544,750 Thai baht, 544,750. Now with Wise, you would get 546,000 Thai baht even. Again, that's assuming they don't take the 98 off the top, but they do. It does have a $98 fee, but just comparing the two, that's a 1,250 savings with Wise, or 35 US dollars compared. So I lost $35 with the Bangkok bank exchange rate compared to the Wise. Now, $25 plus the flat rate fee at Navy Federal plus the 35 I'm losing with a slightly worse exchange rate is $60. Wise charges $98. So in this case, transferring 15,000 Navy Federal, I came out $38 ahead. I know this isn't life-shattering money, but for the people that left comments, and maybe they're going to watch this one as well, saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. Wise is a better exchange rate. You're going to win each time. I mean, there you go. There's the hard numbers. Now, just doubling those figures, $30,000, and that's not an uncommon amount to transfer over, especially if you need $800,000 in that Thai bank. It's the end of 2023. That could go up to $1 million. Who knows what the future is going to hold? But let's say you got to transfer 30 grand over. Now, using that day's rate, which was a couple of days ago, 4 days ago, of 36.3. If I move $30,000 over at Navy Federal, that'd give me 1,089,500 Thai baht. It would give me 1,092,000 Thai baht with Wise. 36.3 at Navy Federal, 36.4 at Wise. So Wise, $196 fee to move that amount of money, and Navy Federal, $25 flat rate fee, plus I'm losing 70 US dollars with the Bangkok bank exchange rate compared to Wise. Once again, Wise was slightly better. It was $70 better. The difference between 36.4 and 36.3. It's not like Wise is offering 36.4 and Bangkok Bank's offering 31.5 or anything crazy like that. It's a slight difference, but it does add up. You got to do the math. Now, Wise is charging $196 to process that 30 grand. Where Navy Federal, $25 flat rate fee, and then let's add in what I'm losing on the exchange rate of $70. That's a total of $95. So $196 Wise fee minus $95 Navy Federal. Navy Federal beats Wise by $101 on a $30,000 transaction. Now here's where Wise comes out ahead, and I think it's just gained its popularity, is a lot of people are moving smaller amounts. Again, you're at the mercy of what the baht is each month, but if that's the only money you have, your Social Security pension or your pension from the union, whatever it is, and you have to move that money as soon as it hits your U.S. bank account just to eat, I get it. But here's the numbers on that. Now let's assume we're using the same numbers, 36.3 Navy Federal and 36.4 Wise. That's what it was the other day. So if we were to move $2,000 over with Navy Federal, you'd get 72,600 Thai baht. You'd get 72,800 from Wise, only 200 baht more, or $5.50. Now Navy Federal still going to charge that same 25 flat rate, and I'm losing $5.50. So that's $30.50. Wise is going to charge $17.50. So in this case, moving $2,000 over, Wise will beat the flat rate Navy Federal by $13. Now, that is all good and fine, but what my strategy moving forward is I'm going to stop with this monthly transfer business. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I know it's a bit of a crapshoot whether the Thai baht's going to go up or down, but historically, Down has been 30 to 1, and recently it's been 37 to 1. So, it is what it is. I can at least not transfer money over when it's 30 or 31, and hopefully at some point during the year it'll go to 33, 34. Maybe I'll get lucky and almost hit 37 again and move 50 grand over. That's my way of thinking. But let's say you're going to move a lot of money over. If it's for the strategy I'm employing or to buy a condo, however you want to look at it, let's assume you move $100,000, and if it's 200,000, just double these figures. But 100,000 at the same exact rates we got the other day, 36.3 at Navy Federal, 36.4 at Wise, would be $3,630,000 with Navy and $3,640,000 with Wise. So Wise would be a 10,000 baht more hitting the bank, or $275. So let's add that up. It's still a 25 flat rate fee with Navy Federal. Now, I've never moved that amount of money. I've asked them, and she said, yeah, 100,000 would still be 25 grand. I've never did it, but I've been told it's okay on international. I think she said on domestic transfers or something, there was a cap, but on international there was not. Again, I'm just trying to be honest. I've never did it. I've been told 100,000 is still 25 bucks. Moving $1 over is still 25 bucks. It is what it is. Now, that 25 plus the 10,000 Thai baht, and I'm using today's rate, which is 36.2, I think, is worth about $275. So 275 plus 25 cost me 300 bucks to move the money over using Navy Federal instead of Wise. Now, had I used Wise, they charge $630 to move $100,000. So yeah, you're getting a 36.4 as opposed to 36.3, but it's costing you 630 bucks. So I take that 630, subtract the 300 that Navy Federal would cost me, and Navy Federal comes out ahead $330. So I don't know how to be any more clear that flat rate fees will oftentimes beat Wise. I'm sure I'm still going to get comments saying, no, you don't get it. Wise is number one no matter what. I'm just throwing it out there. You make your decisions. I know money and money decisions is very personal, and I'm certainly not telling anybody what to do. I'm just speaking out loud and trying to learn as I go. And if you're maybe a little bit confused about what do I do here, I mean, every Facebook group you read is going to be, well, you're stupid not to use Wise, and on and on. Now, I will say different banks have different fees for international transfers. Navy Federal is probably towards the more affordable rate, and I can highly recommend Navy Federal. I've been with them since 1984, and I love them. Other people might have problems with them, but I also bank with Chase and Fidelity and other places. Now, I asked them on the wire transfer, and it was very expensive at Chase. I think it was depending on the amount you're sending, and I was looking up that 800,000 baht figure, and it was over $100 or something, and it was a lot. And then I called Navy Federal, and they're like, it's 25 bucks. And, once again, I figured, well, there has to be a bit of a catch. Well, yeah, the catch is when the money hits your Bangkok bank, they just give you a slightly worse rate than Wise. Even the exchange booths on the street. When I came over here, I brought 10,000 cash, and I figured that would help me open a Thai bank account. It didn't, but I used an agent to open the bank account anyhow. Opening a bank account is a pain. That's a whole other discussion. I mean, maybe it was easy for you. It wasn't for me. Going to immigration might be hard for you. It was fairly easy for me. I did all that on my own. But opening the account, I did pay $100 to an agent, and easy. But I had that 10,000 cash that I then needed to put in my Thai bank account, because they will not use any money you come walking into the Thai bank. It has to be wired from abroad, the entire 800,000. And again, if that figure changes, it changes. But you can't bring over 10,000 cash US cash and then wire another, whatever the difference is, 15,000, whatever 800,000 is. It doesn't work that way. So I was stuck with this pile of cash, and I said, well, okay, I'm going to wire over. In my case, I wired over about 1 million Thai baht. I didn't want to come close. I needed the 800,000 in there. It's going to get spent, whatever, not a problem. But I said, in the meantime, let's put this money into my bank. And she said, I'm going to be quite honest with you. That's $10,000. Walk outside. Now, this was the Bangkok branch lady telling me to do this. She said, walk outside and there's an exchange booth and he can give you a slightly better rate. And he did. I took that 10 grand outside and turned it into whatever it was in Thai baht. It was almost 100 US dollars savings to exchange at a private booth outside than the bank. So yes, I 100% agree that Wise or some of these exchange booths is going to give you a slightly better amount, but you just have to run the figures. Wise isn't doing you any favors, I don't think, on the Wise fee of $630 on 100,000. Again, moving over 1,500 US dollars a month, yeah, Wise is going to come out ahead. But moving real money, you're going to lose real money, is the way I look at it. More importantly to me is going to be when I transfer money, more than saving a few bucks using Wise or Navy Federal. I mean, that's all chicken scratch compared to these figures. So let's assume I just moved 15,000. Let's assume I'm going to do that a couple of times next year. Now, just doing simple math at today's rate, again, things are going to fluctuate. So please don't leave a comment. What is he talking about? The baht's at 28 to 1 right now. He's talking about 36.2. Or it's at 48 to 1. He's talking about 36. I get all that. This is the end of 2023. And today, as I'm making this video, the rate is about 36.2. It's gone down at 30 to 1 at times. If I moved $15,000 over, that would be about 450,000 Thai baht. At 31 to 1, about 465. At 32 to 1, about 480,000, etc. Now let's go all the way up to the historic high, which has been recently. It was a little over 37 to 1. 15,000 US dollars equals 555,000 Thai baht. Now, that's at 37 to 1. At 30 to 1, it's 450,000 Thai baht. So in today's dollars, that's 105,000 Thai baht difference from transferring at 30 to 1 or 37 to 1. I understand you're probably not going to have that great of timing. You know, you're not going to have messed up and transferred all that money at 30 to 1 or got lucky and transferred $1 million at 37 to 1. But this is just for paperwork purposes. Let's assume you did the 15,000. You messed up. You sent it over at 31, or you were forced to. Even more, you had to send 30,000 to fund the 800,000 baht. And again, I know you don't have much control on that. You can sit and wait to retire when the baht is high. That's a little foolish, but this is just a paperwork exercise. So that 105,000 Thai baht in today's dollars, and today that's all I have to work with. The baht is at 36.2. The difference between 30 to 1 and 37 to 1, if you transfer that money over and it's today sitting in your bank account, 105,000, is worth 2,890 US dollars. So again, I think that's what I'm going to be more concerned about, and not timing the market. I'm not one of these kind of guys, but I think it's going to be more important to transfer a decent amount of money. And in this case, I'm using Navy Federal with a flat rate fee, and just try to transfer it at 36, 37, even 35 to 1, as opposed to getting stuck at 30 to 1 for 2-3 months in a row, or 31 to 1, just because you have to make that monthly fee. I mean, $2,890, that's a big number. Just the difference between, and this all happened in the last year and a half. I mean, I'm not going back 40 years. I mean, I hear tale of, oh, you should have been here when the baht was 45 to $1. That's all fine, but I'm living in the here and now, and this is what I see. So thanks so much for watching. Yeah, please leave some comments, but at least keep an open mind on whether Wise is the perfect solution for you. For smaller amounts, I agree. Yeah, it's a good solution, but for larger amounts, if you can afford to keep that $800,000 in the bank and just keep your money invested in the U.S. or wherever it is and move money over here a couple of 2-3 times a year in large amounts, that might also be the way to go, especially if you can get it at a more favorable exchange rate. Again, nobody can predict the future. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to look back a year from now and say, hey, you know, I was foolish in waiting till the end of the year because the baht really dropped. But hey, we're just doing the best we can. So thanks for following along. Thanks for listening, watching my little video here, or at least these looks around Bangkok. Consider subscribing for more looks around town. Take it easy and have a great day.